Alright, I got a CF-19 MK1. It's a Panasonic CF-19. Today I'm going to show you how to remove the complete LCD assembly. You would be doing this if you were replacing your LCD bezel, if this was broken and you found one online, or if you just happen to have a good find online and find the complete LCD assembly with a good LCD and a touchscreen and everything, and yours has those parts that are bad. This would make for well, I wouldn't say a faster but more simpler replacement if you were going to do that, because then you don't have to remove any of these covers here. And to do this, we're simply going to remove 6 screws from the top here. We have the 2 plates that actually cover up, that hold down your keyboard. So there'll be 3 screws there. 2 on there and 1 on the silver plate here where the release latch is to spin your LCD. So we're going to remove those. I'm going to be using a dewalt battery powered screwdriver. This is a DW9057. Or I'm sorry, DW920. The battery is 9057, which has nothing to do with it. This is a number 0 Phillips head tip. Alright, so we remove those, get that plate off of there, and we do this left side. That out of the way. And now we have to remove the keyboard. I'm using a metal spudger here just to get under there, break the seal with a double-sided tape. We have to remove this plate. This encases the video connection and your Wi-Fi antennas and 3G antenna wires run through there. Okay, so then we remove that plate out of the way, keep the screws with it. And now we have to remove the keyboard. We just lift up on the tabs and we lift the ribbon cable away, move that aside. Then we just disconnect the connector for your inverter board and your touchscreen power board for this little thing. Okay, so once we disconnect that, disconnect the video connection. Okay, set that aside. Now you can close the lid, flip it over. Let's remove the 13 screws that are on the bottom here. And also, while you're in here, you can do a RAM upgrade. Alright, so we've got those screws out. I like to open the port covers and then use these two. Lift it up and open it like a book. Excuse me. Oh man. Alright. When we're in here, we can remove the hard drive. Let's remove the battery. Set those aside. And no, you don't have to have this bottom cover off to remove the hard drive or the battery. So now, if your unit has a 3G card, like this one does, you'll have this here. We will remove this, and then we'll remove the headphone and microphone jack board, and that's directly under here. It's a total of 7 screws that we need to remove to get these off. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to use a black nylon spudger or a pry tool, and we're going to disconnect the black, the gray from both sides here. Lift away at the gray one here and just remove it from its little holder thing. Remove the white. Okay, so now that we have these wires loose, let's go ahead and disconnect this brown one, which is for your 3G, if you have it. And then we can lift up the lock tab for the ribbon cable. Under this white plastic, there's a screw. And then we have the other 3 along the edges here. Remove the 3 black screws, not the silver screws. Okay, so move those out of the way. Then this will lift up, and then the Bluetooth wire will be connected to it. Now to get to this part, you could, if you're just removing these, then I have videos on just how to remove these. So now we just go ahead and get the 3 screws off the audio or headphone and microphone jack board. Okay, set that aside. And then this, you don't have to completely remove it. Now let's move this brown wire out of the way. Lay the board over gently like that. You will have to cut the tape. Yours will just have white tape. I've already done the repair on this one before, or removal of it. So then you could just lay that card right back in there into its slot. And what I like to do is I just like to put 1 screw halfway in, not all the way in, just so that it holds the board from flopping around. Okay, so now that we have this, we can go ahead and flip it over. Open it up. And with your nylon tool, just gently start wiggling these out. If one of them gets stuck, set it on its side like this, feed it through like so. Here, set it up like that, so it stands up on its own. Feed the wires through, making sure that they don't catch the motherboard. That way you know that you're not ripping any of the connector heads on them. Okay, so now that we have that, we have 4 screws to go, and they're right here. Okay, so let's remove those. Four short screws. Okay, once you do that, you just simply lift it away. Okay, and then there you are. There's your base with your motherboard, and then now you have your LCD assembly. So then to reassemble this, let's say your new LCD assembly comes like this. It's straight. All you have to do is put the rotate the hinge to where it's 90 degrees, approximately 90 degrees. It might be a little bit more or less than 90 degrees. Okay, so then what you do is you hold your wires down. Okay, you could use some tape just to hold them down on here, but I mean they don't get in the way too much. Now, all the Panasonics have these little rubber bumpers on the screws on the top of the LCD, and on the palm rest they have the silver screws with the circular hole. Okay, that's how you line it up. Okay, if this falls out, this is just for your lock. That goes in here somewhere. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll put it on after I'm done with the video. But that just sits right here. So my goodness, here we go. Sits on the top side, and it goes with the little short leg downwards. So I'll take care of that. See, maybe I'll just if this falls out, you can grab some double-sided tape, because this is what holds it on there. Okay, get some double-sided tape. Then we just go ahead and place it down. I was not expecting this to fall out, but there you go. So now that holds it in there. It has double-sided tape on there, but it's old. So now you just align that nut there, and then all you have to do is, just to get it perfectly aligned, is push on it until those little rubber bumpers fall into those circular holes there. And then to test out, make sure that it did, wiggle it. And it won't move that much. It'll move just a little bit, but it won't move much. So then now that you have that perfectly aligned, now you can go ahead and put those 4 screws back in that hold that assembly there. And be careful doing this. Don't cross thread it. If it starts going in crooked like mine just did, there you go. Just adjust it. On these I'm going in a little slow just to get them started. Make sure those are nice and tight on there. Okay, so now that we have that, let's remove that screw from that audio board. Okay, just hold it with your finger, set it down. And the way I like to do it is, I like to do, these go in order. So from right to left, it'll go brown, blue and gray, black and white. You don't necessarily have to do it that way, whatever, but that's how they come out. That's how the factory has them in the foam block here that holds the wires. So then I like to do is set it on the side, feed the brown wire through. Okay? And this goes over the ribbon cable for the audio board, not under it, like the blue and the gray one do. So then we just grab blue and gray. Alright, so now we just go ahead and feed that down. Okay, so then once we have it out here, that's fine. We could just, I like to push them into the foam, into the slot in the foam here, so it keeps them in there nice and neat. Okay, so then I close the lid. I do these wires first, and then I move on to the white and the black one. Okay, so move the blue and the white, or blue and the gray out of the way. Grab yourself some tape. You can use Scotch tape, whatever kind of tape you have available to you. I have Kapton tape. It's a heat-resisting tape. It just works really well. I just like it. It's really, really sticky. But then when you remove it, it leaves no residue, so it's great. Okay, so then I plug in the gray one. Okay. And now you can go ahead and put in 3 screws for the audio board. Do this in steps, that way you don't forget it, you don't get too far ahead of yourself and then realize you didn't put a screw in. So the 3 go in here. Okay, move the brown one out of the way. Now we can connect the Bluetooth wire to the Bluetooth card that is located underneath the 3G card. And then before you snap this in, lift up the lock for the ribbon cable. Lock your ribbon cable in. Okay, and then now you gently wiggle that on there. Alright. Use your nylon tool to press in the black wire. Okay, so then now I like to go ahead and do the screws for the 3G board. Okay, and then connect the brown wire. That goes to the black triangle, to the black arrow. And then you grab the little block foam piece that goes into this here, to that leg. And there's that. Now let's run the black and white cable that do your Wi-Fi. Okay, so I run the white one on its own first. Get that out of the way. Get the black one over here. And the black one you can actually just, as soon as you get it over, get it through, you can go ahead and plug it in if you want. I like to feed it all the way through. White one goes first onto this little clip wire organizer thing. Don't know exactly what that's called, but Plug in the black one. Connect the gray one. Again, use your little pry tool if you have to. Okay. That just goes in like that. Connect your white one. And then prior to doing the bottom case screws, I just like to place this like this. Flip it over. Connect, or actually then, you know, push your wires into the little slots. Go inverter board connector to the motherboard. Video cable to the motherboard. Lift up the locking tab for your keyboard. Lock that into place. I'm not putting anything in yet. We're just going to make sure that everything functions properly. We can pop it in the hard drive at this time if you need to test it. Power it on. And then we're just going to see if we get a picture here. And there we go. We have image. Let's boot into the BIOS. This one has a password on it, but there you go. So it works. And then just to make sure that everything else works, you want to boot all the way through to your operating system. And then while this is going on, since I know this is good, I'm going to start putting this back together. But it's going into Windows right now. Then you grab your little plate. Don't forget to put this plate on there. Okay? Because then if you accidentally spill something, well, you're shit out of luck at that time, really. This kind of helps prevent the water from getting down there. But obviously there's a gap here where it could get in, but not everything is completely perfect. Alright, so now that we have this, it's booting in. It's going into Windows. So now I'm going to start putting these little plates back on. Whoop. Hitting keys as I go. Okay, so then I put the screws in there, let it go all the way through. This has an antivirus, so it'll do a scan, so it takes me a little longer to boot than normal. I have it set on this one just to do it every time I start it. Alright, my Wi-Fi works. It picked it up. Use, well, my touchscreen works. I'm going to go into Paint just to show you that this works. If it ever decides to open, scan's still going, I guess. But as you can see, let's move. I'm just moving that around. Okay, bring it down here. Ugh. That's what happened. In this news. It's the December debate. Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. So the touchscreen works. Let's open Internet Explorer and see if it works. I mean, I know it works. I mean, I have my Wi-Fi down here. It's lit up. It's lit up green, so I know that works. I hope this video is not too blurry. I don't know what the heck happened. Of course, my flash took a crap on me. I don't know what, if it got too hot or what. There you go. Don't want to save that. Says the woman swung at her and hit her arm, then went inside the store. She was a manager who called police. Shoppers we spoke with today understand how some people can get offended. I've finally gotten used to Happy Holidays.
It's a happy holiday or a Merry Christmas. I'm good with either one.
I say Merry Christmas to most people at work.
Alright, well, there you have it. It's starting my last session where I was doing updates. Well, there you have it. That's how you remove and install
And that is what it means to me.
the LCD assembly on a Panasonic CF-19. It's the same on an MK1 as it is on an MK2. They're basically the same thing. Just your cards on the inside that are connected to either your 3G or your Wi-Fi or whatever will be a little bit different. Either you have a 3G card or you don't. So I hope this helps, and good luck. Have fun doing it. You know, hopefully this will get you going on fixing your computer or fixing somebody else's computer that you know that has one. All right, well, have fun. Thanks for watching.